This is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
And I have to warn everyone, warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
So now we can move on to the news. Alright, now ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys have been anxiously awaiting me talking about a hot topic today. A topic that all of us have been really waiting to hear my follow-up take on. Something that, you know, is going on right now. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Minecraft is getting a cereal. Yes, Minecraft cereal. It's official. It's absolutely official. Alright? It's called Creeper Crunch from Kellogg's.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Holy fucking shit! Wow!
But anyway, obviously that's kind of a non-story, alright? The big story that at least people in my circles are talking about is the official cancellation of EVO 2020. Now, I talked about this yesterday, that there were allegations on the internet put against Joey Queller, also known as Mr. Wizard, the CEO of EVO, that he basically committed pedophiliac actions about 20 years ago at Sunnyvale Golfland, which was the biggest Street Fighter-related arcade on the West Coast in California. And there's not necessarily documented evidence, like no one was taking pictures of these things going on. But basically, a lot of people have always talked about this behind the scenes. It's always been an ongoing thing in the Street Fighter community. People say, yeah, it happened, but for some reason, it was always just kind of accepted and then forgotten. And now, we are where we are today. And it's come to light, because someone who I actually know from the old days when I used to be a troll on the internet, and I used to troll the Street Fighter community, and I would be part of these IRC internet relay chats for Street Fighter. Well, I used to chat with this guy in the internet relay chat all the time, and I knew for a fact this guy was a kid who went to Sunnyvale Golfland in the 90s. And he came out with his story that basically Mr. Wizard essentially coerced him into showing him his private parts, even though he was underage. Okay?
Oh my god!
Obviously, serious allegations. Now, that's all we talked about yesterday, because that's all we knew. Now, at that time, EVO was basically trying to determine what they were going to do in regards to this situation. And that was where it ended yesterday. Well, in the last day, a ton of stuff has happened.
I love drama.
That drama shit.
I love it. I crave the drama.
Basically, there were no games that were going to be played at EVO anymore, because all the game companies said, we want nothing to do with this event. This is disgusting. In addition, gamers as well as commentators started saying, we've had enough of this. This is gross. We're pulling out of EVO. Alright, so everything just started backing out of EVO. As this was going on behind the scenes, people in the gaming community started talking, and basically, people started coming out saying, yeah, you know, there's no documented evidence of these accusations, because no one was taking pictures back in the 90s, but pretty much everyone knew Mr. Wizard was doing this.
Oh my god, look at the disgusting mess!
Like, everyone knew, because back then, Mr. Wizard was an arcade employee. I believe he was working for the arcade. That's how he was giving tokens to kids for doing these ridiculous acts, like taking their clothes off and jumping inside of a pool at the golf course that was there at the arcade. Alright? Like, this was known. This was well known that this was happening. But people back then just kind of shrugged their shoulders and said, well, it is what it is. None of my business. You know, it's not like today where we're all woke and on the internet everyone talks about and exposes this behavior and gets people in trouble for it. Back then it was like, well, it's weirdo fringe behavior, but you just kind of put up with it. Okay? Now that all this comes out, EVO makes an announcement. Well, because of all these allegations, we've immediately suspended and removed Joey Queller from the company. He's out. He's not going to be part of EVO ever again. In addition, the company will now be turned over to Tony Cannon. He'll be the new CEO. It'll be his job to make sure that these kind of things don't happen within the company moving forward. And we're canceling EVO Online 2020. Do you want to play the fucking game? Now, first of all, during this happening as well, Joey posts up, Mr. Wizard posts up on Twitter saying, yes, in my young days, I did many horrible things that I'm very sorry for now, and I've tried to improve myself as a person in the last 20 years, and I'm really sorry for anyone I hurt. He basically publicly admitted that he did it.
That is absolutely disgusting.
I did not live on the West Coast. I was not personal friends with the Cannons. I say the Cannons because they were twin brothers, Tom and Tony. Tom was always like a behind-the-scenes coder kind of guy, and then Tony was the one who kind of spearheaded Shoryuken.com, the Street Fighter community, okay? I was not personal friends with Mr. Wizard. I did not know many of the West Coast players until I started traveling and participating in tournaments, all right? And then I started getting knowledge of these guys. I started having interactions with these guys. I started to see what they were all about, all right? Admittedly, this was not a great relationship that I had with these guys most of the time because I was from the East Coast and I was an outspoken player and very critical of a lot of things that happened in the Street Fighter community, including the way that these guys ran tournaments, the way that these guys ran Shoryuken.com, and the way that they conducted themselves in the community. I will tell you about that in just a moment. So I was not a well-liked guy in the community overall, but in particular, these guys did not like me, all right? For various reasons. And
I'm all about myself. Oh, the stream's all about me. It's all about me.
I'm trying to say, how can I go about this? To explain to you guys, my true feelings about the subject, all right? Back in the day, arcades were not a safe space. Arcades were not a place where you could just go and play games. There was a lot of bullying. There was a lot of really, like I explained, locker room stuff that went on. If I had ever been aware and had knowledge of and or evidence that something really fucked up happened in an arcade, I absolutely 1,000,000% would have told my parents, went to authorities, whatever it took.
Fuck you. You're a liar.
Admittedly, when I was part of the competitive Street Fighter community, I always heard rumors about Mr. Wizard and that he did weird shit like this. And I was like, well, that's none of my business. I don't have evidence of it. There's nothing I can speak. People who were there should have spoken up. People who were there who know this guy, right, should have done something about it. But, here's my take on the whole situation going on with Evo right now. So, Mr. Wizard steps down. He's out for good. The company is now turned over to Tony Cannon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Cannon is one of the Cannon brothers. Like I just mentioned, the twin brothers who, for the greater part of 20 years, have been in charge of the American Street Fighter community. All right? Now, how did they get in charge of the American Street Fighter community? Because they have money. And they were the only people who could finance big tournaments. And they decided they were going to do so. And they started setting up things on the line, like I said, Shoryuken.com, they wanted to be the central hub for fighting games in the United States. And all of a sudden, they came to prominence out of nowhere.
I mean, I'll be honest, just like any other normal human, yes, am I jealous of certain people and of people who are successful and whatever? Of course I am.
During the course of the Marvel vs. Capcom 1 Invitational Tournament, the entire tournament was rigged. Alright, what they did is they purposely floated the West Coast players to have matchups that they felt were easy wins for them, and kept them apart so they never fought each other until the finals, while the East Coast players were forced to play each other every round.
Lol. You're living in the past. You need to move on.
And we made a big stink about this, okay? And guess what Evo staff told us? Ready? So who's ultimately responsible? The Cannons and Mr. Wizard. They ran the tournament. Here's what they told us. Well, that's an invitational. It doesn't matter. That's literally what they told us. They didn't admit, or they didn't say, oh, we didn't do that. They literally said, oh, that's an invitational. That tournament doesn't matter. Too bad. We don't care. Okay? That very same fucking tournament. Justin Wong wins Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and they say, okay, we're going to give him his prize money. And they give him prize money, and it's way less than what he was supposed to get.
Oh my god.
Guess what? They became the prominent tournament organizers in the United States. They held Evo, which became the prominent tournament, and you had to put up with it. It was either you go to Evo, and you put up with these fucking these guys, you know, Tony Cannon, Mr. Wizard. You have to put up with them running these tournaments this way, or else you just don't play in big tournaments. You can go to your locals, you can go to regionals, but Evo became known as the national tournament, okay? Now, fast forward to many years later, I actually became a relatively top player.
I was a high-level tournament player, 4th place at Evo, top player of Street Fighter 2 that year overall in the country.
There was a time in the 2000s when the Cannon brothers, at this point I believe it was Tom Cannon, who was the coder of the brothers. He was the one who was writing GGPO Netcode, okay? He was pushing this heavily on the internet. People were able to use it for free to play games over the internet on their PC. You know, emulated versions of these games. And he was trying to basically perfect this netcode so he could sell it to game companies.
So I played it, and I was like, wait a minute, there's big problems with this netcode.
So I posted feedback that was constructive. I said, there's some really good things about this netcode because it doesn't play in slow mo, but there was the rollback netcode where something would happen, it would skip backwards. And then also there was a lot of dropped inputs. You'd do a move and nothing would happen, or, you know, the input wouldn't come out at all. I posted that up. They deleted my posts. So I said, that's not right. I posted it up again. They banned me from shoryuken.com. And behind the scenes, I contacted the Cannon brothers, and Tom in particular, in an IRC chat. I said, what gives? This is bullshit. Don't you want actual constructive criticism? And you know what he told me? No. He said, I don't want constructive criticism. What I need is a bunch of people to post up positive stuff so my code looks good so I can sell it.
Oh, money, 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 money.
I said, isn't that, like, immoral? You're basically telling people to only say positive or lie and say positive things so you can make money? He's like, yeah, but, you know, we need the money. We run Evo and everything, so this will help us, so, you know, shut the fuck up. I've already talked about this publicly many times over the years, that these guys basically were not to be trusted. They were out for making money and for out for themselves. They weren't, like, trustworthy people, and they weren't, essentially, they weren't very good people to be running the whole community, but I just sat back, and then especially when I became a full-time YouTuber, alright, and I saw these guys become the big prominent tournament, and they were, oh my god, now they're live streaming, and they get all these views on their tournament. I said, whatever, I don't care anymore.
You show your toxic jealousy and just how petty you fucking are when you react to something like that.
So in 2007, the last major Evo I attended, alright, last major Evo I ever attended, I go there and I purposely decided I wanted to practice against a variety of competition, so I actually teamed up with the Graham brothers. First round match, I'm playing one of the Graham brothers. Wait, what? First round, I'm playing one of the guys I was just practicing against. Like, what are the chances of that? By the way, it's incredibly rare in any major tournament that two well-regarded players play each other first round. Generally, it's accepted that you don't put top players against each other first round so that, you know, people have more of a chance to advance before you get the top matches and stuff. But they put us against each other first round. And that was it for me. Like, when that happened, I was like, I'm done with this.
Oh my god. That was great. Oh my god.
So I don't care if they all talk shit about me and they blacklist me, and I don't give a fuck. It doesn't affect me at all. Me and my streams here, I do what I love. I interact with you guys and play games. I have no desire to go back to the competitive Street Fighter community. Alright? So, here's the thing. Here's why I'm telling this story. There is a history of systematic corruption with this group of tournament directors. There always has been. So to me, here's the end of the story and why I felt like it was meaningful to tell you guys this story. Alright? All these allegations come out about Mr. Wizard. Mr. Wizard is now out of Evo. Oh, we're handing Evo over to Tony Cannon. What? That's not a change. Tony Cannon, Tom Cannon, Mr. Wizard were always the three guys in charge of fucking Evo. The Cannon brothers are incredibly longtime friends and knew Joey forever. They were well aware of these allegations, probably more so than anyone else, and never addressed them. They continued to put him into positions of power. They made him the CEO. By the way, they were the ones who behind the scenes owned Evo. Alright, I don't know about now, legally, what they did, but behind the scenes, they were the ones who always owned the business. They were the ones who put him into power. Okay? So, oh, we're making changes by turning the company back over to the people who really own it and who put this guy in power, even though they knew that he was doing this 20 years ago anyway. That's not a change.
Shut the fuck up. You're like a little incessant 5-year-old pulling at their parents' leg. Mommy, 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 mommy. It's hilarious because half the people in the stream chat just complain the whole time. Even though this is, you know, you guys tune into the pre-stream, you know I'm going to talk about unrelated stuff. To what game I'm going to play today or whatever. People just sitting here complaining, right? I killed Phil Cheer. He says, are you going to play the fucking game? Yes. Then he cheered again. He says, tell me where the bad man touched you. That's not funny at all. And in fact, you now get a nice timeout because you think it's funny to joke about pedophilia. It's not. And now you can actually be banned for a while and see how you feel about that. See how funny that is when you're not on the stream anymore. Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. I eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you. No decency, no respect, no common sense, no fucking maturity. Is the guy who just doesn't get reality.